What up, what up, what up? What is going on? It is morning time, but it looks like it's the night time. I bet you're wondering where I've been. How you doing? This is Chris Classic dropping a car vlog. I hope you guys are having a great morning, afternoon, night, whatever times like you're at. We got love from America, India, Russia, China. We got it all in here at the Taking Home Podcast. Nobody tells you today, remember that God loves you, Christ loves you, and I love you as well. And I don't say that to make myself feel good. I say that because it should make you feel good and to seek the Lord and understand the importance of what he did through the sacrifice of his son and the Holy Spirit that is left with us to move in one accord. And that is very, very important because a lot of people believe in God and Christ, but they are not accepting of the Holy Spirit. That's why we should run in one accord, honestly. If we ran in one accord, we wouldn't have so many nominations and denominations of Christianity or a lot of the other religions and stuff. So, random, I know. We Block People, Rent Syndicate in the building. Good morning, good morning. Make sure you subscribe to the Taking Home Podcast where I talk about professional wrestling topics and I put up my matches as Classic Alpha. Professional wrestler of 13 years. Look at a lot of the content, promos, matches, lives. I've been doing lives for the past few months, like car vlogs. You guys know that I used to do the lives, the multicasting at home and stuff. I just been doing lives. Whatever I want to speak about, I speak about. So I'm grateful for that. Make sure you also subscribe to C3 Ultimate Wrestling, me and my wife's professional wrestling company. We put up our matches from my last few shows, the 11th Hour and Fright Night. Make sure you look at those matches. Also get your tickets for February 21st for Big Business, B-I-G Business, named after the C3 Ultimate Wrestling Champion, Joseph Ira Credit. Match versus will be out soon. A lot of stuff will be out soon. A lot more details. So get your tickets now. It's in Dyer, Indiana. Harold's private venue. As always, tickets are $5 off on Eventbrite. There'll be $5 more at the door. Bars. All right. Jey Uso, Stone Cold Steve Austin. They have something in common. And what it is their characters were way more important or way more accepted than their moveset. There's a lot of other wrestlers that are like this. Now, wrestling is subjective for the most part. And I put an asterisk by it because at this point in my life, I do feel like I know what good wrestling, what bad wrestling is. That's just how I operate. I don't know how anybody else operates, but it's more power to you. You get what I'm saying? So, with that being said, when we look at these two characters, for example, and we're going to talk about more, we look at these characters and honestly, they're larger than life. They're so large, they are larger than the moveset. For example, Stone Cold, and I've said this before, Stone Cold could actually wrestle. Ringmaster, he did a whole bunch of stuff, Stunning Steve, the stuff in WCW, he was tagging with Brian Pillman and stuff like that. The man could actually wrestle. He was cold. He was a wrestler. Like he got it real. He was pretty good. The thing wasn't a character that stuck with it, but going bald and throwing middle fingers and drinking beer and stuff like that. That's what made him the superstar that he became. So he had to dilute his moveset to become one of the greatest wrestlers, which is crazy to me. Not that it's not that it's unbelievable. It's just the fact that one of the greatest wrestlers of all time is one of the greatest characters of all time. And most of his moves after being Stone Cold was strikes. What? I know you're not besmirching the ring. No, I'm not besmirching him at all. There's some good matches. Like when you look at his WCW days and stuff like that, you know, outside of like how they fired him off his injury and treated him and stuff, still, it was like, he was pretty good. Like, he was good. He had a character. And then even like how they was trying to do the Stone Cold character in WWE when he was with the $1 Million Man and stuff, you know, they tried to make it seem like he was like a Stone Cold killer kind of and stuff, but then it worked into having an attitude, right? So that's what I'm saying when I say that. You know, Stone Cold Steve Austin was the front runner of the what era? The Attitude Era. Not the grappling era, not the greatest wrestling era, the Attitude Era. That attitude. So a lot of these people, they had characters that were great that people like. We're going to talk about Dwayne. You know we are. Dwayne tried to come out as a tribute to his father and his grandfather, High Chief Peter Maivia, Rocky Maivia. Crowd didn't like it. They was like, oh no, boo you. We don't like you. Do something else. So when he started doing the rock, and because people saying die Rocky die, he had black swag. And we know what black swag is. If you don't know, now you know. Shout out to Biggie. We know what black swag is. We know what it is. I'm not trying to get upset with nobody. I want people to get upset with me. We know exactly what black swag is. And I think that we as adults, especially, cannot act like what it is. Thin line between that and stereotypes and all of that, of course. We can talk about that another time. Actually, we don't have to. I've spoken about it a lot. But still, the man had to get a fade. The man had to get a shirt that a black athlete would wear. You smell what the Rock is cooking. He had to put some black sauce on that. And then the rest is history. The rest is history. And he could wrestle at that time. But still, let's not act like he didn't portray as something else. That's why a lot of black people don't really consider him a black champion, because of how he acts now. Not what he did back then, how he acts now. Now, if he is more leaning toward his Samoan heritage, that is fine with me. However, if you sit here and people say they consider Kofi as the first black WWE champion, I'm not mad at him for saying that. You know? Hey, but I understand and I get why people go at The Rock when we speak about these kind of situations. Honestly. But still, Triple H, the Cerebral DX. Come on, man, we got in trouble for doing the suck it sign, the DX sign. We got in trouble when we was kids doing that. I used to my brothers, and my brothers told on me, man, because I used to get under their skin with that kind of thing. You know, talented wrestlers, of course, but we looking at what they wearing, the DX stuff, the suck it sign, and all of that attitude. Even the NWO. People wasn't watching them to see them wrestle. They was watching, well, they probably was watching for Hogan, but they was watching it because of the stuff that they was doing. Who are they going to beat up next? Whose back are they going to spray paint? Pause, no Diddy. Who else are they going to do? What are they going to do? Attitude. That was the thing. And now in 2025, it's still good. Even years before that. So people have been very, very critical on Jey Uso. We can't move wise if he's gotten better. We can't say cardio wise if he's gotten better. I just feel like he's just there. He's selling merch. He's making money, and we probably don't feel like he needs to. I know I didn't watch the Unreal where they was talking about him getting better and messing up, but still, the man still gets the crowd crazy. He had the baby doing the yeet and all that, and it's dope. But at the same time, that moveset, he's been doing that moveset for a while, and the only thing he added was the spear as a tribute to Roman. I think that's it, a spear. But he been doing super kicks. He been doing the punch thing, you know, sort of probably a tribute to The Rock. You know, he been doing that, the little dance thing he does. Like, he's been doing that for a while. But calling yourself Main Event Jay, yeet, all of that stuff, it all works out. Kids love him. My nephew loves him. My daughter loves him, knows him and everything. When we get the Minute Maid, she wants the one with Jey Uso on it. I believe it's the Berry Punch. Cody Rhodes is a Tropical Punch. And I choose Berry Punch over Tropical Punch Minute Maid. I'm sorry, I don't care what nobody say, but still, Jay and Jim gear even getting worse. Yeah, man. See, that was the thing. When they started doing the Penitentiary Uso and Lockdown Uso and stuff, they started wearing club gear. They started wearing free before 10. Well, not for the men. You still got to pay. They was wearing club wear, and it was like, to me, I was like, okay. But the thing was, their character, which is a good point, the penitentiary and the lockdown and stuff, because, you know, they was doing the stuff, the Samoan tributes and stuff like that, and I used to like it. I remember the pleather shorts and the half-face paint and stuff like that. I'm on top. Nah. I remember their theme song. I remember all of that stuff. And then they just went into another direction. Maybe because they felt like it was too many Samoan stuff. Maybe, I don't know. But they started coming out in club gear. And then to me, when the bell rang, I was like, well, do they have like gear under the clothes or something, or what's going on? Nope, they're wrestling in J's and Nikes and pleather pants, long pleather club pants. They're doing this kind of stuff. Dang. So yeah, the gear, like Jimmy, I don't know what Jimmy be wearing. I don't know what Jimmy be wearing. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't know what it is. I don't know if he's like trying to cover his body. I don't know what it is, but that's how these young athletes be dressing sometimes too, though. Like the long Under Armour pants with the shorts over it and stuff. That's how these young kids be dressing nowadays. I don't know. I don't understand the aesthetic, but that's how a lot of the kids dress. And that's how Jimmy dressed. And Jimmy is not a young kid. I think they're 40, just hit 40. I could be wrong, but still, I don't know what Jimmy be wearing sometimes. Like, I understand. Maybe he's trying to differentiate from his brother. Maybe. But trust me, there's a lot to be different from. I mean, your brother literally just has a shirt that says Yeet. You have a longer hair. He wears shades that say Yeet. You look different because, y'all not the same body size. I'm not saying that as a disrespectful thing, but still, you do look different. You look different. It's different. Samoan storylines are all hot. Yeah, I don't understand it, and I'm not a wait and see person for long. So Solo's still beefing with Sammy, but now Solo and MFT is beefing with the Wyatt Six. Roman won't see his cousins until what? Christmas, or did he say Thanksgiving? I think Christmas. Jacob low-key, he is getting like dental work done, so that's why they're doing that storyline. So yeah, I don't know what's going on, and I don't know if they got any more Samoans. They gonna bring Samoa in. I don't know, bars, but still, going back into it, Jey Uso has one of the biggest characters now, to the point to where people was comparing it to Jeff Hardy, and I honestly saw the comparison. Jeff Hardy was, a dangerous daredevil, and all he was doing at one point was falling on people and swantoning on people. But then it was just like people still loved him and stuff. And that kind of stuff happens in wrestling, where your character is larger than your moveset, to the point to where people are scared to change into a different character because they're scared that they might not get booked, they may not get pushed and stuff like that. Orange Cassidy, great example. Orange Cassidy is one of those viral wrestlers on AEW. When you go to the AEW, with phone reconnected, the slow kicks, the nonchalant, people wanted to see in AEW. They had the kid that dressed like him, Tony dressed like him. A lot of people love OC. Y'all know how I feel about OC, but still, the guy, very viral. One of my coworkers, my homie, he spoke to me about it. Man, have you seen this person? And it's a viral clip online of him, keeping his hands in his pocket. The character. Nobody cares about I don't want to say that. I don't want to say nobody cares about the moveset, but they're not there to watch the moveset. They're there to look at the character. They look at him, seeing him putting his hands in his pocket, the nonchalant kicks and stuff. And then they gave him pockets to where he would wrestle and beat people. He beat Moxley before and stuff like that. He's won a couple titles in AEW. But it got him bookings because it was so viral that people was like, well, let me book him because he's the popular guy. He's going to get signed somewhere. Why did he get signed to AEW? There's Joe Hendry, right? People still go crazy, but it's not a big phenomenon like it used to be. He can make songs, like he's made songs about people. And then his own song went viral and stuff like that. And people still see him, they still singing and stuff, but I feel like it's not as big as it once was. Hopefully he can go back. There's rumors that he is signed to WWE, or WWE is like looking to sign him, but I don't know how long that'll last as something for him, honestly. I hope he milks it for what it's worth. Like I said, when I went to the Square Circle Expo in Indianapolis in April, it was a long line for Joe Hendry. It was like one of the biggest lines. Like, you had Swerve, you had the Hurt Business there. One day the Wrench Business got to be there to see the Hurt Business. The Wrench Syndicate, I'm sorry. See, I always mess it up. They got me messing up. The Wrench Syndicate. NXT ruining Joe. Which Joe? Who's Joe? Oh, Joe and Hendry. See, look. See? That goes into my point. I mean, you said Joe, I was like, I don't think Samoa Joe, because he in AEW with the Ops. But no, still. So I don't know what's going on. I know they did the crossover, but I don't know what's going on with Joe Hendry and stuff. I know that for sure. NXT was waiting on a lot of the wrestlers there in TNA to get their contracts, to get them out their contracts, or wait for them to get them new contracts. like what's her name? Jordan Grace. Jordan Grace, was in TNA for a long time, but her being a bodybuilder and stuff like that, that's something that WWE, especially Triple H, would like and stuff like that. Even Vince, if Vince was still around, they would get somebody like her. They got perfect gimmicks. Joe couldn't beat anyone. Yeah, okay. I did see that. I mean, he went to WrestleMania and had a 5-minute match with Randy Orton. Now I kind of understood it, but he was the TNA champion at the time. So the TNA champion, he went to WrestleMania, had a good moment, took 2 RKOs, or Randy RKO'd him to win the match, then tried to celebrate him and gave him another RKO. Yeah, that could have been a good, bigger moment, but I'm sure it was something that was just unspeakable and remarkable for Joe Hendry, because he said that they had called him and said, hey, could you show up? And he was there, dropped everything and went. So Joe Hendry is also one of the ones. People love the song. Sometimes when I pick my baby up, she be like, can you play that Joe Hendry song? And she do the clap and she do the wave your hands from side to side. But characters can be way more important. I know people who have changed the character in a mask, and they're viral now and they get a lot of bookings. And sometimes it's the same moveset, it's just the fact that the character is popular. If you're a wrestler and your character shows up on AEW, WWE, your price is definitely going to go up. AEW will probably book a lot of the stuff. I remember there was a pizza guy. There was a guy, he used to wrestle, and he acted like he was rolling pizza dough around. And it went viral for a little bit to the point that AEW booked him for like 2 shows. You ain't seen him since, but still. When Dark Side of the Ring, that Nick Gage episode, when he was talking about deathmatch wrestling and how he basically got arrested for trying to rob a bank and he almost died from doing that deathmatch stuff, AEW started booking him. They booked him for a match against Chris Jericho. They booked him versus one of the greatest wrestlers alive. And then everybody wanted to do death wrestling. Y'all got me. I said do like his baby shark. They wanted to do deathmatch wrestling. They started booking him for the deathmatch wrestling. Then the women was like, oh, I want to do it too. So women started cutting each other open and cutting the men's open and doing all of this stuff. All this craziness, man. All this craziness. But characters, I think it'd be good to just be even if you could be. You should have a larger-than-life character and make your moves larger-than-life as well. I'm not saying you got to do anything crazy or nothing like that, but still be balanced. I think guys like Seth Rollins, he was doing good. He had great characters, but his moveset was crazy and it was unique and stuff like that. So the fact that somebody comes in and try to do what he does, people are going to be like that. Seth Rollins, Undertaker, one of my favorite wrestler, right? Same thing. He would do the same thing. Larger than life character, zombie character, very agile, can jump over the top rope, can pick up the biggest of guys. The sitting up thing that made people go crazy. People went crazy for that kind of stuff. I think that he had a balance, obviously, with his moveset and also his character. Kane, too, being Undertaker's brother and all of that stuff. If you can have a great balance, that works. Other guys, 2 guys that I feel like has the most unique moveset. Booker T and RVD, right? Larger-than-life characters. Crazy moveset. Booker T, you can low-key, when I used to play like the SmackDown vs. Raw games and I used to create wrestlers, I used to, for the most part, just copy Booker T's moveset because I liked his moveset. I thought his moveset was pretty dope to me, right? I thought his moveset was pretty good, so I used to do that. RVD, Rolling Thunder, the kicks, the pins, the leg trap pins, all of those was pretty dope. Those was pretty dope to me. So sometimes it can match it. But that's the bad thing about having a character that's way better or more important than your moveset. Because if you do try to move on from that, it's a possibility that people may not book you anymore. They'll be like, nah, that ain't it, Chief. We need to do something else. Nah, that ain't it. Can you dig it, sucker? Right. Can you dig it, sucker? And even when he was King Booker, I used to love that. King Booker. Like, it was hilarious because he would go between royalty to street stuff. Oh no, they booked me, dog. No, we gotta get them. No, good TV. Booker T knew. Booker T knew how to switch it between serious comedy and all of that stuff. That's what workers are supposed to do. They're supposed to do these kind of things. Independent scene is a little different. It's a little different. It's like, okay, I want to be paid. I want to be rich and famous. Not rich and famous. I want to be rich. I want to make a lot of money. So, I got a character. If I could just show it and people like it, then maybe that helps me get booked. I've seen people run characters to the ground. Last year, y'all remember last year? It was a whole bunch of Kanes. It was a dude named Blue Kane. He was just a dude in a blue cane suit and went viral and got booked a lot of places. And then when WWE put a cease and desist order in it, he called himself Gain. Not Gain. What he said? Blue Pain or something like that. It was like Blue Pain. So it was like he still was doing the character. Then he stopped doing the character. Then he went back to it. And then for some reason after that, it was everybody. It was a gay Kane. So somebody in a cane suit with rainbow colors and stuff. And instead of doing the pyro thing when his arms went up, he did a gay pose. Like, then there's Cocaine. There's a guy, and I know this. I've seen this guy and stuff like that, and been at shows with him. And he wears a mask, and basically he act like he's doing bumps in the ring. And I ain't talking about wrestling bumps, like with a whole bunch of stuff. And he gets booked a lot of places. There was a girl Kane called Candy Cane. So there's a lot of stuff. I'm surprised we don't see a Mexican. I gave somebody an idea. But still, sometimes people, I don't want to say we're running to the ground, but they are trying to get paid. They are trying to be known. Luke Kane, Propane, Lewis Lane, Kane, Mask, and 5. Yeah, so that too was that was the thing was, okay, being a parody of Kane. So even Kane was like, he didn't really like it, but people still did it because that's what got them booked. Being a Kane parody, acting like Kane. Everybody. I don't even know where you get a rainbow suit that resembles Kane. I don't even know where you get a blue suit that resembles Kane. But they did cease and desist, and some stopped and some did not. Cocaine is still around. Cocaine is still around. Anyway, I'm at work, but I did want to speak about that because I do know that like a lot of people have turned on Jay, and a lot of people still love Jay, but still, it's just one of those things. Like sometimes the character can really outweigh the wrestling. And sometimes you see a lot of wrestlers, a lot of people on the independent scene are good wrestlers, but they have no characters. And to me, that's not going to save everything. Peace, peace, peace. So that's something I just wanted to speak about. I hope you guys have a wonderful morning. Shout out to you, Arshawn, the Rink Syndicate in the building. We block people. This is Taking Home Podcast, and let's take it home.